Which one of these two mighty tow machines are going to do better?
3.5 ton towing capacity, coil spring, automatic.
The V8 6-speed versus the V6 10-speed.
3.5 litre, 4.5 litre, and the exact same wheelbase.
I'm expecting one of these vehicles to be hotter than the other.
104 degrees in the torque converter up one hill.
And one to use more fuel than the other. Litres per 100. Now the 79 doesn't seem that bad. I always find that I'm standing here with a car saying, we've already done the 76 and the 79 up against each other. I don't know what happened, it just
Sounds like the 4-cylinder pulls it up the hill faster than the 8-cylinder.
Then we did the 250 Friday. Now I've got Trav out with the 300 series and I've borrowed a 200 series.
200 or 300? What do you think it's going to be?
I don't really want to pick. Part of me is thinking the twin turbo V8. The 200 is the best thing out.
But the 300 is the new technology.
Overheating already, mate.
Yeah, it's a hot V.
300 being dubbed as the hot V, it means that the turbos and the exhausts exit from within the V, not outside the V like the V8 does. This means that the core of the V6 3.3 litre is going to be running hotter. The 300 series certainly has a lot to prove up against the iconic towing machine, the 200 series. We use an exact same 80km test route we've used for previous tow tests. And now, time to add the 200 versus the 300. Each vehicle will tow for the full 80 Ks, dragging this van. 2.7 tonne Caravan, that's the tear weight. It is filled with water, so we're looking at just shy of 3 tonne. It's the one I borrowed last time. This route leads to the main event, a well-known big, long hill that will test anyone towing a Caravan. So far to this day, no vehicle has been able to maintain 100 k's per hour all the way up the hill. We aim to provide the most accurate data and feedback from hands-on experience. Therefore, we are doing the following. Swap vehicles at halfway point, I tow there, Travis tows back. Along the way, comparing the following.
Tyre sizes, 285, 65, 18 on the 200, 285, 70, 17.
So 32.7 and 32.6.
Very similar, the 300 being 0.1 of an inch bigger. Refueling both towing and non-towing vehicle after each run. I'll use D mode, just let the vehicle do its thing. Travis will do it all in
manual mode. I mean, if I have to go up a hill like I'm about to, I'll shift it down or up.
Monitoring, foot braking, engine braking. How well did I take off into traffic? General handling. No stone is left unturned. Let's get into it. Starting with 200 series. Taking off in the 200. I'm in the bloody lounge chair of a heavy donk.
Ronnie's already calling the 200 series a lounge on wheels.
Chair goes down, chair goes up.
That's how I refer to it.
This does feel a bit grandpa spec with the seat covers and all. The 200, clearly comfy as. Chair goes down, chair goes up, chair goes down, chair goes up. But what is it like driving in a 300 series?
A lot of people say when they get in the 300, feels more like a driver's car, more direct and sports-like, I would say, and the 200 is more just comfy, cruisy, and more of a sedated, smooth and steady sort of ride.
It's feeling like it's just doing it, you know, it's just doing its thing. Out of all the cars that I've towed, this one has its bum planted probably the best so far. I'd like to see it click in a gear at some point. RPM is sitting pretty high. I found a 200 series quite indecisive of when to change gears.
Pulling up very soon.
Very soon.
At least I know your definition of very soon is now.
Let's just call that the brake test. Being confident of pulling out into traffic really comes down to the vehicle's capability. Let's go. Takes off really good. Takes off really good. Is the 200 going to be able to hold 100 kilometers per hour up that hill? I actually have slight doubts. While I deal with this, let's jump to my first impressions of the 300. Just something to note, both these vehicles are not tuned. The 300 is not tuned, the 200 is not tuned. I don't know, initially I was expecting just a little bit more, like oomph off the get-go. We're in 7th gear now. This has 10 gears. So early report I'll give you, Trav. I can definitely feel the van more in terms of bouncing and stuff, but it's able to pull it, if that makes sense. This reminds me a bit of the Prado. I don't know, I wouldn't say it's loose, it's just not handling the weight very well.
Actually, right where your left knee is, turn the dial to sports and it'll change the suspension. How's that feel? Any different?
It's made a difference, yeah, for sure. Like it's still there, but it's sort of taking it out of it.
You do get more feedback through the back end of the car.
Now that we have a baseline, let's compare some heavy braking on the 300. Leaving the braking till late. Oh, the 200 did a better job of braking. Will it take off easier than the 200? Yeah. Takes off real easy. Definitely takes off better than the 200. Time for the 200 and the main event. Let's find out if you held on to the right car. Or maybe you should have got a 300. Nah, I think this one's actually got it.
We're blowing the trip until I say stop. Keep blowing, and stop.
Ronny Dahl has passed the breath test.
Just got breathoed. Drink driving and towing probably doesn't mix, eh?
Lucky, eh? All zeros.
The big hill is coming up. It's a twin turbo, it's a V8, it doesn't have massive tyres, so you would expect it to be able to do that.
What's the converter temp at now?
84 and 96.
Interesting to see in a second when we start heading up the hill.
And that's happening right now. One of the most important things we're monitoring are temperatures. If they get too hot, it's a good indication of how the vehicle is going to perform under high load. This hill is a high load.
The old 200 series is about to do what it does best. Skyrocket.
Here we go. Sitting just shy of 100 and I'm dropping a little bit now. Drop back to 4th. Still losing speed. Still above 95 though, that's pretty good. No, actually 90, sorry, that's 90. Temperatures are up there. We're looking at 104 and 90.
104 degrees in the torque converter up one hill.
I've dropped to 85.
Coolant temperatures, they rised up a little bit.
96.
And what about your EGTs?
650.
Woo!
Backing off.
He took the words right out of my mouth. I'm glad you called that.
To give you context to the 650 EGT's exhaust gas temps, that's pretty high, which is okay for a short period of time. However, long durations, it's not great for the engine.
Did you say you got to
106. And it took ages to cool down. I find that the newer vehicles, they cool down much faster, especially the 76 is unbelievable in cooling down. 96 on the coolant temp and it was slowly dropping. It reminded me a bit of driving a 79 up. I always find that I'm standing here with a car saying, I'm a little bit disappointed. It's like your child disappointing you with something that they should be able to do. I mean, I look at it, I can't be mad at it, but I say that every time, mate. Similar feeling to dropping back in speed, but a bit less at a time. Maybe because it's got twin turbo, it's got automatic transmission and smaller wheels.
Overall felt good though going up, and there was only one hill with those temps though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it felt amazing, nah. What I find is so funny is that the 2.8, that thing over there, the 76 there, which is the camera car today, did it, and
felt easier.
And the Prado, the 250, did it better.
What scares me though is people towing these, they feel good, but long term, how many hills, thousands of kilometres, how hot it runs.
Yeah.
It's like what you don't know, are you doing damage long term?
I think I now know why all the grey Nomads that tow over 200 sit on 80. This does feel a bit grandpa spec.
And as well, 4th gear, I think you started in 5th at the bottom.
In drive, it tries to stay in 5th, where I know that you're better off being 1-to-1. I think I'm done with V8.
I know, it's still 4 cylinders.
Keep in mind, I towed in B mode, which most people would tow in. However, most experienced towers who are towing something really heavy would use manual.
I'll do it in sports, yeah, I'd prefer, that's how I drive mine, in manual. See what happens with the temp. 200 series, comfiest car I've ever had. Definitely resonates that lounge chair effect. In sports mode, let's see how this goes.
But will it make a difference?
I'm in third gear, 80 k's an hour. Mate, I'm pedaling this thing and it doesn't have any more go in it. This is why we tuned a lot of 200. Just pulled up, transmission temperature 103 degrees, coolant temperature 93 degrees.
I thought I was holding you up. Like, I was like, you coming?
I even dropped it back to third gear.
Disappointments all round. In the 300, we are approaching the hill. In recent tow tests, I've come across tow haul mode. And with the 300 series not being brand new, but newish, does it have tow haul mode?
No, not like the later model 74 cylinder and the Prado.
Yeah.
Which you rave about.
Yeah. Tow haul mode really helped the 2.8 tow these big caravans up this hill.
I know when I tow the camper trailer with this, it does try and go the higher gear and runs hotter.
Does the 300 series need the tow haul mode?
I'm sitting on a comfortable 100 k's per hour, just like it was in the 200. Can this hold 100 kilometers per hour? All right, here we go. I'm in drive, and it seems to be holding really well. We're in 7th gear, dropping a bit of speed, now dropping back a gear. We're accelerating now. Drop back 2 gears, 5th gear, accelerating up the hill, gaining speed. Oh man.
This is impressive.
300 for the win.
Impressive. And the temps, not too bad. Trans temp has only just risen to 92 now. Coolant temp is already dropping to 88, but that was up to about 95.
However, it's not all positive for the 300. Trav quickly picked up on a problem.
I have to ask, was that you or was that the lane assist?
That was the lane assist, yeah.
Man, that's gnarly. Looks like you're texting or something.
It only just happened then when it had solid lines. Geez, it really just snaps the steering wheel off you.
Yeah, I've never seen a caravan twerk before. How was it?
All right, the bad point first.
You're driving?
No, mate, that was lane assist. That lane assist it feels deadly, eh?
That issue with wagging the tail genuinely felt quite frightening. Just on that basis, I think I'd be a little bit worried towing with that vehicle, especially when there's a solid line on both sides. That's when it really wants to just whip that back end.
But the flip side, going up that hill, this accelerated. So when it started losing power like all the other vehicles did, it would then just gear back 2 gears and then it was accelerating up the hill.
And
Seamless,
it's just
mate.
as it is, showroom floor, like
Yeah.
nothing's...
Yeah.
So
I even had to take my foot off the accelerator slightly because I was creeping over 100.
I'm keen to actually have a drive of my own car. I am pedaling it quite hard, to be honest. However, it is pulling it up the hill pretty seamless. From an acceleration point of view, the 300 series is a clear standout. It definitely hands down beats the 200 series. Up an incline, it'll still pull away, whereas the 200, it just sits there and it just can't increase any speed. It just hits a brick wall. As for temperatures, look, they both climb. I still think the 300 runs cooler than the 200, given that the 300's got more gears and it uses it to its capacity better. That's definitely, I'd say, a tick to the 300 as well.
Well, I've crunched the numbers for the fuel, but I know what they are. I want to wait and see your reaction to it. Life in the fast lane. Oh man, this is impressive. Life in the slow lane.
Mate, I'm pedaling this thing and it doesn't have any more go in it. Fuel economy, that might...
Yeah, I might have altered.
Yeah.
Accelerating up the hill. You know one's going to be better than the other, but you don't know how much. First of all, the 200 series. General driving, 12.9 litres per 100. Just general driving. The 300 series, 10.9. So it's got 2 litres on the 200 when it's not towing. Towing, the 300 series, 17.8 litres per 100. That's not bad. 6.9.
Yep.
The 200 series, 21.7.
That's actually pretty good for a 200.
Now the 79 doesn't seem that bad. That was 22, I think.
Mate, what's the go with the fuel? Where does it all go?
Time for the final shootout. From a stopping start, taking off.
For me, straight away, 300 series, hands down.
Agreed. I know that you prefer to talk about engine braking, but I'm going to talk about stopping because I do feel the car itself with its brakes, how that feels. And I'm surprised that this did it really well. So I'm going to give that one to the 200.
Yeah, engine braking, I feel the 300 works better, or actually does engine brake. You can down a hill, I could get it to, hold vehicle speed down a hill.
The fun one. Held 100 uphill.
Oh, dude, that's not much of a conversation. Outstanding
contest.
winner, 300 all day.
Okay. This has performed better than all the other vehicles so far on this hill. It's still going. Do you know what that means? It means the 300 is the king of the hill at the moment. The king of the hill. Handling the load. 200 got that
Yeah,
one.
I'd agree. The 200 just feels planted on the road, big and heavy, and it just holds that.
This is a brick and it pulls a brick.
Yep.
Tech's a funny one. Tech is making this vehicle more capable of pulling the car, but it's also hindering it.
Yeah, if you take the tech out of the 300, I'd love it more. Just everything, like watching you drive that lane assist, how it... Never seen a Caravan twerk before.
And not towing, I prefer the 200. It just sits so nice. Lounge chair, it's so comfy, there's more space.
And on that, you don't have to read the owner's manual to work out what's beeping at you.
Engine temps.
Overall, a lot of temps, I think we're running a lot hotter in the 200 versus the 300.
The 200 got there faster to being hot and took a lot longer to get rid of the heat.
Also, that's probably more reflective. This has got more gears, didn't have to work as hard. We were pedaling the 200 pretty flat out. I couldn't ask for any more out of it, just wouldn't deliver it. So it is going to run hotter. Which one did you feel was more fun,
Oh, look, okay. This is life in the fast lane. Oh man, this is impressive. Accelerating. This is grandpa spec.
Comfiest car I've ever had. That's a proven performer. This is new tech and will it last? Like these things burn oil when they first come out, and look at them now. Everyone says they're the best thing since sliced bread and doesn't want to sell it.
I don't really want to pick. What would you guys pick?